Hello everyone, this is Prashant, and let's start our new topic, that is Gestalt perception. So, what is Gestalt perception? Well, before we begin that, we have to go into a little bit of philosophical background. So, Gestalt perception. Well, we start with the Hume's and Kant's philosophy, and what is their philosophy? Well, what is the basic metaphysics and epistemology there? Well, there is a reality, it's unknowable, it's vague, it's fuzzy, and the creator, creates it. You construct the reality in your head. So that's their basic philosophy. And borrowing from that premise, the Gestaltians say that there are free floating stimuli and they go through your consciousness. Your consciousness converts it into a percept, and that percept is what you perceive. Okay, so that is perception. You create your own perceptions. Basically, you create objects in your head based on vague signals in from reality, and you perceive that. You convert the parts into the whole. Okay, so let's start. So Gestalt means parts converted into whole, and that is converted by your brain. So brain synthesizes parts into wholes. That's the basic premise of all Gestalt perception out there. Okay, so let's start with our main concept, that is figure ground. Okay, so brain shifts between figure and ground based on the attention given. So here's an example. So basically, I'm giving attention to the black object that is appears like a vase, but when I contrast the colors, there are two faces. Okay, now let's start with few principles. So how does our brain synthesize parts into wholes? And we are going to start with the basic list of principles that we are going to cover: similarity, continuity, proximity, symmetry, simplicity, closure, common fate, common region, connectedness. So these are all the principles of Gestalt perception that were given by Kafka in his book. You can see the reference at the bottom of the slide. Okay. So let's start with our first principle, principle of similarity. So what is it? Well, here are few dots. They appear square. Okay, and there are few dots with squares. Okay. So what is happening is that my brain is gonna uh, group together similar objects as a part. Okay, as a whole, basically. So let's see, they are colored. Okay, so colored are considered as one part, and the black ones are considered black part as one part. So there are two groups here. So that is the division based on color. Now the second version is division based on color. Are colors, I use it to highlight, but it's division based on shapes. So and size. So what is happening is that my mind is forming two groups out of the whole, that is one of dots and one of blue squares. So yeah, so there are three ways in similarities formed, or similar groups are formed: similarity based on color, shape, and size. So that's how I divide parts into wholes or form three groups. Okay, now proximity. So here are random dots, some blue, some black. And what happens if I bring some close together? Okay, now those close together are considered, or especially close together, closer in space, are considered as one group. So all the blue dots close together are considered as one group, and all the black dots on the right are considered as one group. Okay, the third principle is continuity. So our brain has a tendency to view things as continuous. So now there is an x object. Instead of viewing it as a segment, I will see it as a continuous whole or a line. Okay, yeah, I will see it as like this instead of this. Okay, so that's how my brain is tuned in to view objects by dividing them into continuous wholes, or as a parts of wholes, basically. So parts and wholes are actually relative. A whole is a part of a bigger whole, and whole. Basically, the whole reality is one. So you can view it as such. Okay. So symmetry. What is happening is that there are two shapes. Now they don't appear to be as part of one group or one shape. What happens is that when I make them symmetrical, they will be considered as a part like this. Okay. Now it is appearing as if it's a part of the same triangle, but two parts, one blue and one black. By making them symmetrical, I made them as if they are part of the one thing. Okay. Now, simplicity, also known as pregnance or good figure. So, what is happening is that this is a shape. It appears as if a man is wearing hat, but it's if I were to told you which two shapes is it composed of, then you will convert it into a triangle and circle. So, complex shape is reduced as a combination of simpler shapes. So, a triangle and then a circle. Okay. Now the next one is closure. So what happens is that the brain fill in details whenever there are gaps in perceptual objects. What is happening is that these are dots, but my brain is considered it as a face of a panda, or this is Necker's cube. So what is going on is that these are different segments of a circle arranged in a certain form, but my brain is seeing that they are black dots behind a white cube. Okay. Next one is common region. So these are array of dots, right? What happens when I f- enclose them in together basically? So this becomes one group, uh, dots in front of blue background or blue square. These are one another group, group two, uh, dots behind red. Oh, sorry, dots above the red square, and one line of green dots. You know. So I form three groups. Why? Well, because they are enclosed. A shape is covering them and behind them, so they appear as if they are group. Okay. Now, common fate. What is common fate? Well, objects that move in the same direction are grouped together as a whole. So, if all birds are moving together in the same direction, we take them as a whole. Or the arrows pointing in the same direction, we take them as a whole. Okay. So, these are the two examples of common fate. Now, connectedness. What is connectedness? Well, now these are appearing as if they are random circles. What happens when I random dots? So what happens when I connect all of them? Well, when objects are connected through a line, they are considered as a group on that line basically. So yeah, now it is appearing as if it's a form of atomic structure or Sharingan. Okay, from Naruto. Anyway, so let's move forward. Let's go to the motion cues. Okay. In Gestalt perception, the motion cue studies apparent motion. And what is happening here is that it was studied by Max Wertheimer, and he labeled it as five phenomena. What happens is that there is a dot, and there are multiple dots. And what happens is that I switch on and off light at different positions, and there is a little bit of time difference between them, undetectable by human eye, but it appears as if such that one dot is moving across in a circle or in one beam light, that lights used for decoration and stuff like that. So this is five phenomena that was studied by Max Wertheimer. Okay, so two individual shapes are perceived as one moving object because one is presented after another, and there is a short time difference between them. Okay, another motion cue, that is autokinetic effect. What is happening is that there's a dot or bright light, the only source of light in a room, and it is very small, basically minuscule. And what appears to me is that that light is moving. So something like that. Okay. So that's it. In the next video, we are going to cover perceptual and cognitive styles. So thanks for watching and see ya.